Uh, is it better now? Any kind of audio? Just let me check. I hope it's audible because on my screen it says it's audible. Okay, great. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Sarthak. Uh, been a student of iQuanta for the past year, and I wrote my CAT in November of 2024. I successfully scored 99.97 percentile in the exam, and the purpose of this session is basically to answer all of your queries, to give you some insights into my CAT preparation and so on. So please let me know whatever doubts you have, right? It's more of an interactive session where you ask me something and I can answer it. So let's make sure that we all have productive questions and we gain a lot of exposure through this. Yeah. Thanks everyone, whoever is congratulating. Thanks a lot. Even I didn't expect such a score, honestly, but it all worked out. Just practicing helps a lot. Okay, so Arpit says, should we use Arun Sharma book? Very useful, Arpit. I think it's one of the most useful resources you can have for your preparation. The Arun Sharma book, and I had one more book called Quants for Competitive Exams. So these two books were really essential. I mean, these two book sets. Arun Sharma has a lot of useful books for, all three subjects. Or you can use the iQuanta material as well. There are a lot of, unique questions in the material as well, especially the ABC batch material. Uh, okay, let's take another question. How to use iQuanta course efficiently? Again, depends. If you are a non-working person, it's pretty simple. Just follow all the sessions. If you're working, if you're missing a few sessions, you can always go through the recordings of them. If not recordings, you can always rely on the application classes because the idea is whatever you miss out in the concept classes or whatever you have learned in the concept classes as well, you can cover it in the application session, and this application session would give you a good recap of your concept. So that is one way to use it efficiently. So the way I would use it is first do concept class, then I'd attend the application classes, and after that I'd take mini mocks from the same section, right? Okay, so another question, I hope that answers up your query. For how many hours would I study? Asks Rajesh. So the answer is I would study anywhere between 2 to 3 hours on working days, right? Because you don't get a lot of time. So 2 hours before going to bed, most of it would go into 1 hour of reading something for VRC and 1 hour of practice for either DILR or Quants, right? So these are the two things which I used to do on working days. When I'm not working, then you can obviously spend more time on it. So on your weekends, you can utilize it and do things like, probably 5 to 6 hours. It's the number isn't important. It's how efficiently are you studying and how effectively are you able to follow through the resources, right? So don't be stuck on 10 hours, 12 hours or something. Just make sure whatever you're reading, you're learning through it, right? Okay. Um, Okay, Anushka asks, is iQuanta books dashboard questions enough? Yeah, more than enough. So I think if you have taken the ABC batch, there are around 8,000 questions or so, right? So there are a lot of questions. Probably you are gonna need at least 4 to 5 months to solve all of those questions. So they are a lot of questions, and I think for CAT itself, they are I think a level above CAT, so it will cover up everything, right? You don't have to worry too much about it. All right. Is it mandatory to take coaching? So the way to answer that, for me, as I've said in my previous interview as well, something that drew me towards the coaching was one, the materials being offered, and second was the chance to win the car with iQuanta, right? Unfortunately, one of those things didn't work out, right? But CAT went well. Coaching you should take if you think you need structure, if you're not well aware of the exam, or if you think one of your concepts is weak, right? If you have not done DILR or Quants before, you should take coaching because it gives structure to your approach and you would always have good resources to play around with, right? Okay, then Harshad, I think I have answered the thing. How many hours to put in? It's put in 2 to 3 hours every day when you're working, and on the weekend stretch it up to 4 to 5 hours. That's enough. Okay, you don't need more than that. Then we have a very poor in RCs. How to guide? How to do it? So see, everyone's poor in RCs, right? We haven't done it before. It wasn't part of our syllabus. So expecting someone to do RCs directly isn't possible. What you can really do is start the habit of reading, right? Get into the habit of reading. Start with the book you really like. That is step one. Step two would be reading non-fictional books, something which you don't or you wouldn't have read, but now you're reading it every day for an hour. And make sure when you're reading, there are no interruptions, right? You're reading it as religiously as you can. And third would be then switching up to daily RC practice. So do at least 2 to 3 sets of RCs every day. That is total 10 to 15 questions of RC. So this is how I would do my RC prep, right? So I was also very weak in RCs, but by the end of the exam, I was very confident, or by the end of the prep, I was very confident that I would score at least half of my marks through VARC, right? So yeah, that is the way to do it. How to self prep with job, right? Uh, Again, it doesn't really matter if you're working or not, right? For working, it's just the time constraint. With job, you just have to narrow down the list of things that you have to cover. So maybe you can rely on a reference book or material from somewhere and make a timetable of how you want to cover it. One common advice that I'd give to everyone is do not just rely till the end of the exam date. So limit your schedule to June at max, so that you finish up all of your concepts by June, and then you get at least 2 to 3 months to practice everything, right? To do all of those mocks, you need at least 50 mocks to get into the zone of solving, because CAT is also about handling pressure and the time crunch, right? So self prep is really possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but yeah, I went the coaching route because it gave me more structure. It made it easier for me to manage everything. Okay. Then you are an engineering student. Okay. Uh, Again, number of days does not really matter. Someone has asked, they only get 3 days in a week to prepare. Effectively, I would also get 2 to 3 days in a week to prepare. I had a job which took a lot of time, right? I had my own startup at that point, and I was also doing corporate training. So it used to take anywhere between 12 to 16 hours daily. What really is essential is you put in the work when it is required. And if you have it that for this week, for example, how I would set up my timetable is for the current week, I would do profit and loss. Then it doesn't matter if I have to stay late or put in extra time later. But by this week, I need to finish profit and loss, and I should complete it, right? Devashish asks how suggest some good book to start with. Arun Sharma, please, Devashish, right? That is the only book I rely on. For example, so Arun Sharma CAD series, I think they have updated it for 2025 as well. It has a lot of unique questions as well as past questions from the past 20 years. So you get a lot of exposure to CAT, and that is really essential when you're preparing, right? Okay. How to be good at spoken English? Just talk in English, right? Find a friend who talks in English, or start reading English literature, and you would be good at English, right? Or start just manifesting your thoughts, right? When you talk to yourself, maybe try communicating in English. That works. Um, okay. All right. So, how do you manage prep when you're staying up late? Asks Anushka. So, the idea is, see, your job starts at 1:30, if I'm getting it correctly. So, 1:30 p.m. You have a lot of time to finish things before it, right? You just need 2 hours of your day. So, even if you wake up late, say at 10 a.m., you still have a couple of hours to put on your CAD prep. It's completely up to you how you schedule it. If you are a night owl, you can do it at the night. But generally, what I would suggest is do it in the morning with fresh brain. See, CAT is not really that long, okay? It's not JEE or NEET for that example. It's just you need discipline and you need practice to be in that rhythm to solve those questions, okay? When you look at CAT questions, if I give you 3 hours instead of two, I'm pretty sure everyone can solve every question. But that is the point of the exam, right? It's about putting you under time pressure and on these constraints of whatever you have. So just make sure that you have that practice. You know which questions to take, which questions to leave, which is why you need to prep from so long, right? Okay, four most important genres for RC. So four most important genres for RC would be one, be good with, you know, history, right? There are a lot of history RCs which come up. Second would be, this is something which I learned on my own, right? Which I would call the Brahmastra for VRC, is to be good with philosophy, because every year I have witnessed that there is at least one RC from philosophy. And the problem with philosophy is they make abstract statements, right? We don't communicate naturally in the language of philosophy. So get habituated to it. There are some, famous works by David Hume and all of these people. Start reading them. If not read them, start watching YouTube videos so you are at least acclimatized to how they write. So yeah, just quickly summarizing it, four genres for RCs would be history, philosophy, probably a bit about economics and all of this stuff, right? So basically newspaper editorials. And fourth can be a bit about, article reviews or book reviews and all of these things. So these are the four genres that I would recommend, right? Okay. Bhavya, from which college did I get a call? So I got calls from all the colleges, right? ABC and all of the other ones as well. But I have only filled the forms for IIM A, B, and C, and I'll be aiming for those three colleges. Okay. Uh, Okay, Pulkit, you have the same question. Can I get a Blackie call being non-engineering male fresher 6.5 in graduation? I'm assuming 6.5 is CGPA. Again, Pulkit, I am no expert with, calls and call prediction. But I know this, let's not think about what we cannot control, right? When I say we cannot control, your 6.5 is already been registered, right? It's already there. So why worry about it? Just worry about your cat prep. Maybe you get a 100 percentile and, you know, then they would have to call you. Any college you want would call you. So I'd say let's all focus on things which we have at hand. I've seen so many people, they do profile reviews. I never did my profile review. I never found the time to. Because again, colleges determine who to select. Why should we invest our energy into it, right? Our energy should be on CAT, which is in our control, our preparation, which is in our control. So yeah, these are the things which I would say. Okay, Shravani, does RS Agarwal book work for basics? Yeah. It definitely works. I think you're referring to the book of Quants for competitive exams, and that book is great. So that definitely works, Shravani. Good book to start. Okay. What is the work experience I have? So I have work experience of 2 years, 2.5 years actually. Graduated in 2022. Best YouTube channel for self-study. You can go. I mean, iQuanta has a lot of free stuff, right? So you can do that. There are other resources as well, but I didn't find the time to go through all these resources at once. So I would rely on mostly the RS Agarwal books. And the second thing is my importance was on, or my emphasis was on, reducing my screen time. So I generally preferred hard copy books or hardcover books rather than, a digital resource. Okay. Uh, Adnan asks how many days or आपने कितने time तक CAT की study किया? So the honest answer is I began my prep in February, which is when iQuanta की classes began. बीच में I had a horrific accident where I had fractures on my hand, and for 2 to 3 months I couldn't prepare anything, nor was I in the zone two. So I would say total six months of prep, but don't rely on that because I think everyone works differently. Always good to have some time in your prep. So अभी से start कर लो, and बाद में you can chill, right? Once you're done with your syllabus, तब आराम से chill करो, do one test a day, and that's about it. Okay, how to, okay, about roadmaps. So roadmap is, देखो, again, as I would say very anecdotally and very candidly, I do not have a roadmap, neither would I have the energy to make a roadmap. But if I ever created a roadmap, it would look like this: कि January से May तक I would do all the concepts, right? Finish up all the concepts by May, and from May onwards, focus on solving. So, for example, even at iQuanta ka dashboard or the RS Agarwal books or the Arun Sharma books, you have level-wise questions. So, how I would do is first understand the concept, do level 1 questions, then let that concept sit for at least 15 days, then come back to that concept, do level 2 wale questions, and the cycle should go on. So basically, you need to keep in touch with those concepts, because there is a thing called recency bias, because of which whatever you read right now, you will solve all the questions of that topic. 7 days later, gone. You would know nothing about it. So a good way to do it is first finish up all the concepts, then do the application classes, then do level 1 questions, then let that concept be, because even your syllabus is moving ahead, and probably after a week or 2 weeks you can come back, do level 2 questions, then you can come back and do previous year questions. In this way you have to cycle through your concepts, right? That gives you a lot of time. Okay, Divya, you ask very weak at maths. Again, not a crime to be weak at maths. Everyone is weak at some of the subjects. Good way to start at NCRT. See, the thing is, if you can manage the time, start at NCRT, but I would not suggest that, because NCRT is wide. Okay, so think about it this way: NCRT is this much, and your CAT is a subset of this, right? So I don't want you wasting time on things which are not going to come in CAT. One thing you can do is mark out the topics in NCRT which are relevant to CAT and only study those, or you can rely on the CAT resources which are available online and study directly from that. You don't need to have very solid fundamentals directly, right? You just need to be good at application. So that is the idea. English speaking. See, others, I think English speaking is very important for your interviews. First, CAT is important. So start reading things. Once you are in the habit of reading, of course, your vocabulary would improve, and then you can switch to, English speaking as well, right? And as I said, start manifesting, start writing on your own in English. That would improve it. Okay. Okay. Can you crack VRC by doing iQuanta sessions and questions? Yep, you can. So I'm not saying you should only do iQuanta questions. You also need to do the previous year questions and everything, but you can score as good as 19 point some percentile using VRC if you just finish what is given in your iQuanta dashboard. The problem is people do a lot of things. Okay, people do YouTube, people do a book, people do iQuanta resources, but they never finish one. So always finish one of those before you move on to the other resource. Okay. The iQuanta resources are more than enough to score the marks. Okay. Yeah, Adnan, same question as Aman. I'm so sorry, Aman, I missed your question. Yeah, first attempt people. Always been a first attempt guy. I don't think I have the intensity to do exam twice, right? So this was my first attempt and the only attempt at CAT. Okay. Adarsh or Adash, sir, for quants I'm very weak. Now again, do not need to call me sir. I'm the same age as you people, probably lesser. Uh, the idea is, for quants, you just need a lot of practice. So you can begin at a lower level using the concept classes, or you can rely on the Facebook community which is there, right? It's completely free regardless of which coaching class you go to. And the other thing you can do is start solving lower level questions from books like R.S. Agarwal. These questions are more for bank, PO, SBI and all of those. These questions will help you build confidence. Okay, I am good at maths. Okay, at least I think I am good at maths, but I still do R.S. Agarwal so that I feel confident before I approach the CAT question. So do that. Okay, build your confidence first. Do at least 150 questions from one topic, then move on to CAT level questions. It would be easy. Okay. Uh, okay, Archie Raj Das asked me about the profile. Profile is 10th 85%, 12th is 90%, graduation CGPA is, again, it's something, it's not greater than 8 is what I would tell you, right? And others is basically work experience for 2 years. That's it. Um, Okay, Shravani, I'm good at concepts, but while applying those and solving questions, I'm unable to do it. So, Shravani, what I think you're doing is you're good at memorizing those things. You're good at remembering the concepts, but application is completely different. So, for application, I would suggest you should, focus on solving a lot of questions. Start by R.S. Agarwal, start by simpler questions, then move on to CAT level questions. You just need to do a lot of questions. That's it. Shreyan, how to revise notes? I didn't make a lot of notes, right? Too lazy to do that, but I think make your own notes so revision is easier. And always when you're revising, maybe you can use the margin, right? So on the right hand side of the margin, write up everything about whatever you have noted, and on the left hand side you can write the summary of your notes. So that way it becomes a two-step process, and you revisit your notes to write down that summary. Okay. All right. uh, okay, Zilani asked me, did you focus on CAT as full-time or part-time? So I focused on CAT as part-time because I was working as my full-time, right? CAT was something which I was doing on the sides, but please understand that I was also doing it with my utmost dedication because I wanted to get into a B school, right? So again, it part-time because I did not have the time to give it the entire day, but I was always aware of the preparation and all of these things. uh, how relevant is the material on iQuanta dashboard? So very relevant, very relevant. At least you can find 2 to 3 questions which are similar. I'm not saying identical, okay? There would be never identical questions in CAT, but at least similar to what you see in the iQuanta dashboard, okay? So great resource to have. Adas, again, you're asking about your profile. I don't think you need to give up. Give CAT, try your best. Then let the colleges reject you, right? Maybe there is a chance. Maybe there is a change in the selection process, or maybe your CAT score is so good, like someone, a top college calls you up. So again, I'm no call predictor. There are better resources for call predicting, but I think you should focus on your CAT rather than worrying about the profile, because one of these things can change, and that is the CAT score. Okay. Uh, okay, Debashish, slight confusion. Do we start with RS Agarwal or Arun Sharma? So Debashish, it's not necessary that you need to have RS Agarwal. If you have RS Agarwal, start from it. But please understand, RS Agarwal is not just CAT curriculum. It has some extra topics. So, it can add up some things which you don't need. What you can do is Arun Sharma has a lot of good concepts. It has a lot of solved questions. Okay, they call it solved examples. So write down those solved examples, solve it on your own, and then you can switch to level 1 questions. So Arun Sharma in itself is very comprehensive, but the thing is, Arun Sharma would have say 100 questions for a topic, while RS Agarwal would have 250, 300 questions. So these questions are simpler and they would add confidence to you. So hence I recommend that those. Adnan asks, what should I do to build my profile in your second year of BCom? So Adnan, simplest thing you can do is focus on your ACATs. If that is not an option, if you think ACATs are not your cup of tea, then you can focus on internships. Maybe you can start working with a startup, right? Or join somewhere which gives you relevant experience to at least talk about. But please understand, this won't be counted in your composite score, okay? So when the colleges look at your work experience, they want experience after your undergrad, okay? So yeah, maybe start focusing on extracurricular activities, competitions, hackathons, all of these things. uh, Sachin, okay, profile again. Sachin, profile something you cannot change. If I score 90 plus percentile, you can. There's no limitation to how you score, right? Anyone can score. It all depends on your prep, honestly. It does not depend if you're an engineer, non-engineer, whatever. I'll be graduating in April and I'm scared 10 months will be enough. Oh, 10 months are more than enough to prepare for CAT Soil. More than enough. Yeah. Mansi asked, should we do a certification course or not? Depends what kind of certifications it is, right? If it is something like CA, CFA or something like that, it adds. But if you're doing a certification course which is paid online or something, most of those times those certification courses aren't added, because the idea is you take a certification, then you apply it somewhere. That is the only thing which a B school would count on, right? So if you want to take it as a hobby, you can, but don't take it for the sake of certification, okay? Uh, okay, Raman. No, Raman. Nothing to ignore. वहाँ पे is just the roadmap. As I said in my previous statement as well, I was too lazy to create a roadmap. I haven't been a great planner, right? Execution is what I'm good at. But as I said, roadmap would be write down the concepts you want to cover, allot one week to each, okay? And then by May, you should finish up all the concepts at least once, and then jump onto problem solving and mocks, okay? By September, you should be done with at least 2 revisions, and after that you can jump onto mocks full time, do one mock every day, analyze it, and all of these things, okay? That is the only roadmap I have. इससे अच्छा roadmap तो मेरे पास भी नहीं है. Okay, Misty asked, does Olympiads count in extracurricular activities? only if the Olympiads are international or national level, right? If it is that SOF wala Olympiad which we gave in schools and we got gold medals, they are not counted. How do I know this? Because I applied for IIMs right now and they wouldn't consider the Olympiad ka certificates. Okay, so be wary about it. If you have a national or a state rank or something, good. If not, then good to have, but they won't be counted in your journey. Okay. All right. Any more questions? Any tips for VRC and how to start? Okay, hi Aryan, yeah, fellow Nagpur person. Good. The idea is VRC. First, read books. Any book which you like, which your friend likes, you wanted to read, you want to impress someone, read that and get into the reading habit. Okay, like read at least 30-40 minutes every day so that you know how to infer from a book, right? And from that inference, then you shift into understanding the central theme of whatever is written, and then you can start reading RCs. Okay, don't directly jump into RCs. There is no direct way of doing RCs. Start reading first and read whatever book you're comfortable with, but at least read one book a month. Okay, that is the least you can do. When I was doing my CAT prep, I was reading at least a couple of books every week just to stay in the habit of reading, because if you read a 100-page or 500-page book, then a RC looks very small compared to it, right? So it's all about how you train your brain. Okay. Shravani, from which sources? Go to the book fairs, get books for VRC. If you're not a book person, then you can rely on the online resources as well. Muskan, about is healthcare management good? I don't know really a lot about it, but for my interview prep, what I've read is healthcare management is a emerging field, and if you are from a healthcare or a medical background, you also get a non-engineering or diversity score for it, right? So it would help you in your MBA application as well. Raman, RCS resource online. Oh, RCs. So RCs resource online is you can read online websites for RCs, or you can read Aon essays. But the problem with Aon essays is you do not have questions based on it, right? It's only good for reading practice. For practicing questions, you would have to rely on CAT material. Some of the material is free online, like past papers, or you can rely on just reading first and then doing the RCs, probably from your dashboard or wherever. Okay. Srujan, no, IIM Bangalore also takes undergrad students. It's just you need to be very good at your undergrad. Okay. Sachin, I am not very well aware with this, right? If it ends in June, July 2026, I think you are fit to apply. But again, I do not have expertise in this. You can better ask this question to someone who's well read about it. Uh, Strong profile for getting into ABC. Again, as I say, you can't build a profile, right? You cannot fake a story. It's all about what you've done till the moment, right? And most of it really relies on the type of work experience you had, the type of undergrads you had, the grades you had. So profile building you can only do by choosing better internships, jobs, and so on. But it's not a magic thing where you can just build it directly. So just go with the flow, go with whatever your current work is. Try to find more interesting opportunities, business related opportunities, and that would help your profile. How to start LRDI from basic? Oh, there is no way to actually crack LRDI directly. So everyone has to start from basic. um, Arun Sharma books are good. If not Arun Sharma, if you have taken a coaching, if you're with iQuanta, you can rely on the concept classes, and these concept classes will help you to understand the method of doing LRDS, right? There is a method. Either you can learn it directly, or you can self-learn it by solving 50, 60 LRDI passages, right? Sets. So either way works, but just make sure that you're doing at least 500, 600 LRDI sets before you appear for CAT. There is no easy way of doing LRDI because every question is a unique one. Okay. All right. How many hours should I consider studying as a non-working guy? Uh, Oh, Adnan, lucky fellow don't doesn't go to college. So you again depends on how comfortable you are. Maybe 5 to 6 hours a daily, but make sure that you are attentive during those hours, right? Don't do it for the sake of hours. Okay. Uh, I'm not sure, Kabir. I do not know a lot about when you appear for CAT. I did it when I was graduated, but I think you need to be graduated by the year of joining. So yeah, just think about that. Uh, Explain LRDI. LRDI is mostly puzzles in the form of passages. So we all used to do Sudoku or these things, right? LRDI is just that on steroids, so it's gonna test you that way. The best way of doing LRDI is just practice it, okay? Just come across questions, understand how it goes. LR is the logical reasoning part, which is puzzles, and DI is basically interpreting data from different data structures. So things like tables, bar charts, and so on, right? Okay. And others, what can I do for English speaking? As I said, just start reading a lot in English, right? And after that, you can focus on writing English by yourself. Uh, okay, Nimisha, I don't think MBA is reliant on what you did in your previous college or previous degree. It all relies on the amalgamation of your CAT scores and all of these things, right? So don't worry about it. You can get any college you want to, depending on your academic profile and the CAT score. Ronak asks a good question, how to prepare quants from basic. So I have repeated this, but I will give you a short summary of this. Is first, you always try to start from the basics, understand the concepts, then do level 1 questions, like easier questions which are directly formula based, then go to level 2 and level 3 questions. When you're done with this, then you go to previous year questions, because CAT previous year questions are good questions, right? They give you a lot of practice. Uh, Please tell month by month journey. Okay, before I tell my month by month journey, Kabir asked what UG have done. So my undergraduation was in computer science. So my majors was computer science, and I did a bachelor in engineering from BITS Pilani, right? Uh, okay, month by month, January is gone. So January gone. February, focus on getting started, getting orientated with all the subjects that you have, make a plan, get an understanding of what subject needs more time. Okay, so February, plan. March, try finishing up all the concepts which are being taught. April, do more concepts. By May, you should be done with all the concepts, at least for quants and LRDI. And May onwards, just focus on solving daily. Okay, just solve. Don't worry about anything else. Just solve. From September onwards, you can rely on your mock tests, right? Okay. Pragati asks, I am unable to solve Quant's question, how to improve? So, Pragati, see, if you directly jump onto CAT level questions, it will be tough, right? I did maths as part of my JE, and I thought maths would be easy, but it wasn't, right? So, a good way to approach it is first understand concepts, then do the solved examples which are available, right? So, in your prep material or in the book you have, I highly recommend the Arun Sharma book. In that book, you have solved examples. Look at how those examples are solved, and then do the level 1 questions. Do not even look at other levels, just do formula based questions. Once you're done with 50, 100 of those questions of one topic, only then would you be able to solve quants. Okay, so just rely on the number of questions solved. Okay, uh, what is the ideal time to solve Sudoku? I am not sure. I am bad at Sudoku, Shravani, so I'm not really sure about it. uh, Sachin, if I think you have cleared 12th, so that should be enough. But again, not a specialist in this. Okay, if I give a wrong answer, don't blame me. Uh, Pavitra asks if I'm regular with live and application classes, would that be enough? Yeah, more than enough. But again, see, everyone's journey is different. Okay, for me, I would need more time for LRDI and less time for quants. So maybe I would have skipped a few classes for quants because I understood that, and paid more attention to LRDI classes. So the simple answer is, if you just do classes from iQuanta, yes, but make sure that you make your own journey. You understand what are weaknesses for you and spend more time on that. Okay, don't just rely on the given schedule, make your own schedule. Okay, Adnan, sir, दो 2 to 3 level नहीं बनते. I'm only able to solve once. Okay, Adnan, so what happens is LRDI, especially level 2, is very, very difficult. Even probably a week before CAT, I couldn't do level 2 questions. If it's a problem, don't try to stress about it. Just do more questions from level 1, more questions from past things, and first try seeing the solutions of level 2 questions, at least 5 questions, and then attempt the rest 20 or 30 questions which are there. Okay, it's completely okay to not do level 2 and 3. It's okay. uh, okay. Okay, Ignite Rook, at least that's the account name. If you have no other material, the iQuanta material is enough, but I would again recommend Arun Sharma books. If you want to buy it, it's pretty cheap on Amazon, right? All 4 books would be under 2000 rupees. If not, you can download it online, right? You know how to get it. You'll get it for free then. Okay. Okay, someone is worried about A4 sheets. We get a small sheet book which has roughly 15 pages, and trust me, that is more than enough. You don't need more pages than that. Uh, Harshita asked if you get 99.5, more than 99.5, is it still normal to fail, or like bottle your interview? Yeah, that's completely possible. It happens, okay? Happens to everyone, can happen to everyone. But generally, you have more chances to convert the higher your percentile is, okay? Right. Now, any more questions? We have last 5 minutes here. Uh, yeah, you get extra sheets. Don't worry about it. Is there any IIM who does not consider 10th weightage more much because my 10th score is not good, but 12th and graduation is good? Yeah, you can. That is not a problem. If one of your scores is bad or comparatively worse, there are a lot of IIMs which can balance that up, right? So all I'm saying is don't worry about it. Get the CAT score. CAT score is universal, works everywhere. Then think about which IIM gets you, right? So for me, I applied to every IIM because I didn't know what score I was gonna get. When I'm filling my forms, then I can, selectively only fill those which I'm interested in, right? So don't worry about it right now. Uh, okay. Sejal, if I score 90 plus, yeah, Sejal, again, I don't decide if you get a good college or not. It's completely dependent on the competition that year, but score as high as you can, okay? Don't aim for 90, aim for 99.99. Only then would you get 95 or something, right? Then we come to Swati. I'm currently working. How many hours should I dedicate to preparation? Swati, completely anecdotal question. Depends on you, right? I would say allotting at least 2 hours or roughly 2 hours daily is good enough. Okay, you still have a lot of time, but make sure you are covering things, right? Don't be in a loop where you're not utilizing time, right? Adesh, how to get free Arun Sharma books online? I cannot recommend that on a live, right? But there are some ways you can get resources online for free. Not the best ways, but you can get them, right? That is all I'll say. Okay, then what hours should I dedicate? Again, depends on your progress. So, for example, make a plan. This is what I'm saying, people. Okay, make your own plan. Okay, if I want to finish up profit and loss, or if I want to finish up number theory, write down how many days you want to give it. So maybe 7 days. First day, give it 1 hour, and then you will realize, oh, I need more time. This way, you will figure out how many hours you want. Don't rely on my hours, right? Because my speed of solving can be different across all the sections. So this is what I want you all to do. Generally, 2 hours per day is enough. Okay. Internships really good, really important, or having good. Pragati, internships do add a flavor to your resume, but they do not add any composite score to your CAT profile. So your selection won't be dependent on your internships. Only your interview questions will be dependent on it. So focus more on your academics because these are the things which are very looked upon in your CAT interview and calls. Okay. Uh, which offline institute is the cheapest and best? I really don't know. I didn't have the time to go get an offline institute, so I relied on an online one, right? Yeah, coaching can be expensive, but I think you have all the options. Just compare on Google. My recommendation was iQuanta because I like the resources which they had, right? Lakshmi, how many callbacks did you get, and from what colleges? Uh, I got callbacks from all the colleges, right? ABC, Lucknow, Kozhikode, all of them. But I have only decided to proceed with A, B, and C, which are Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Chennai. These are 3 interviews I'm looking up to, and my first interview is on February 2nd. Okay. So, which skills should CAT aspirants learn before going to an MBA college? Skills, just have good communication, have an understanding about different business practices, what are the different roles, domains after MBA. But these are good to have, okay? These are not important to have or necessary to have, okay? Arpit Agarwal, online internships counted in IIM? No internship is counted, sir. We only count, so IIMs only count things which are after your graduation, okay? Uh, Adnan, how were you? How were you actually able to outsmart? I don't know, right? I really don't know the answer to that one. But yeah, just good preparation helps you to get into the 99.9 plus range. When did you start preparing for CAT? Around June, sorry, around January. But then I had an injury in June, so there was a gap for at least 2 to 3 months, and so total preparation was 5 to 6 months, right? Should I study all three sections on daily basis or alternate days? Neha, fitting all three sections into one day is really tough. So what you can do is, depending on how your comfort is, either you can study 1 hour each section, or what I would do is I'd study VRC and Quants every day and DILR on the alternate day, because that would help me manage the time, right? Uh, Kabir, cat is not difficult when you said you're from bits. Oh no, that's not like on the level of difficulty of exams. Cat is not really that difficult. It's just about application, right? Okay. What is the fee for targeting IIMs? I am not sure what this question means to. Adesh, were you emotional after getting percentile? It took me at least a couple of days to register that I had gotten that percentile, that 19.97 was mine. I think to this day I still haven't absorbed it completely, but that's completely okay, right? People around me are happy, everyone around is happy. Calls I'm getting from all the IIMs, that's what matters. Emotions, I think I would still wait till I get an admit from an IIM, right? The day I would see an admission letter, I would be happy. Okay. Yeah, username Charizard, right? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's really doable. Okay, you can get 98.9. You can get 100 percentile if you start now. Okay, I had so many things which went wrong during my prep, my personal things and so on. But if you start right now, if you do 2 hours daily, 100 percentile straight. Uh, okay, desired program in MBA. Not really good at researching, but I would like to join IIM Ahmedabad if everything goes well. Okay, and then is work experience mandatory? No, work experience is not mandatory. But generally, work experience compensates if you have had, an average or less than satisfactory undergrad. Okay, that's all the importance of the thing. Any other questions? Last 3 minutes. Please, so see, I see a common theme here. Everyone's worried about percentiles, colleges. Why worry about it? Worry about your own cat. Leave all of it to, whatever happens. And it goes through, right? I never researched so much. In fact, when I gave my cat, I didn't even know the percentile required for all of these colleges. All I knew was I have to perform my best. They will reject anyways, right? So yeah. Zalini, how far does CAT prep help for GMAT? Not sure. I haven't written GMAT, but from what I know or what I've heard, GMAT is pretty similar to CAT. I think a bit simpler in application, so it would get you in that, in that zone where you can solve it directly. Okay, and then after my graduation, should I focus? So Harshvardhan, this is a good question. If you have a family business, you can work with it, but make sure you have a salary slip to show. Okay, if you're not drawing a salary from the business, it won't count in your work experience. Okay, so you can do an internship, but internship doesn't count. Only full-time work experience counts, and you need a salary slip even if it is an internship or your family business. So if you're drawing salary, if you're filing income tax every year, then it would count as your work experience. Um, okay. If I graduate in 2026 and if I apply, does it still? No, you don't require Manya to answer that question. Okay. Yeah, if you apply that for that question, uh, if you graduate in 2026 and you're directly joining a B school, you don't need work experience. A lot of people directly go from undergrad to B school. Just make sure that you're very strong with your undergrad for the interviews. Okay. I think Yashwant, I haven't got in IMA. I just got a call right now. I have an interview. If the interview goes well, yeah, I'll convert to IMA. Okay, that's pretty much it. I think that's it, right? I'll wait a minute here and then we'll end the stream. Bhavika, your question, if I'm selected in TCS, I'll be counted in the selection. You can talk about it in the interviews, but it doesn't really apply on your application, right? So your selection is not really dependent on that TCS thing, right? Arpit, word power made easy. Yeah, you can use that book, but not necessary. I didn't use it, but again, if you want to learn new words, you can use it. Mostly just rely on reading random material, random essays. That builds your vocabulary organically. When you read a book like Word Power Made Easy, you read a word, you remember it for 3 days, then you forget it. Okay. All right. Yep, that's pretty much it. Thanks everyone. So that's pretty much it for today's session, right? I if I find time, I'll connect again with you later sometime. But yeah, thanks. I will prepare for my interview. All the best to everyone.